Story 6, Part 15, The Shaking. When the stake came loose, it didn't fall. It screamed. The sound wasn't just in my ears, it was in the bones of the city. Every brick, every rusted girder, every buried sewer pipe thrummed with a single note of defiance. The black vines flailed like severed nerves, spraying ash that dissolved into the air. And then, the pulse stopped. For the first time in weeks, the silence was real. But it wasn't a peaceful silence. It was the pause before a building collapses. The undercity around us began to tremble. The bone structures cracked, sending shards into the green-lit streets. Shadowed figures who'd been frozen for centuries began to twitch, their limbs jerking as if waking from a nightmare. Their eyes, blind and milky, snapped toward me all at once. From somewhere high above, the light's voice rolled like distant thunder. The anchor is gone. The shaking begins. And then the shaking came. Chicago woke to chaos. In the South Loop, street lamps burst in showers of sparks. In Little Village, water towers groaned and toppled, sending torrents into narrow streets. In the loop itself, the glass in high-rise windows rattled until it spider-webbed and fell in glittering sheets. But worse than the physical tremors were the spiritual ones. People fell in the middle of sidewalks, weeping, unable to stand under the weight pressing down on their hearts. Others screamed without knowing why, clawing at their walls or their own skin. In churches across the city, pastors dropped their sermons mid-sentence and began calling their congregations to prayer, some in desperation, some in awe. And in all of it, he stepped in. Not the light. Not an angel. God himself. I can't explain how you know when it's him. It's not a voice in the ear, it's a knowing in the marrow. One moment, the air was poisoned with the residue of the stake, the next. It was pure. The shaking didn't stop. If anything, it grew stronger, but the panic in my chest melted into something else. Peace. In that peace, his words fell like steel. I am shaking the city, Elias, not to destroy it, but to save it. Every false foundation will fall tonight. Every hidden altar will burn. And those who call on my name will stand when the morning comes. From the broken streets above, I heard voices rising, not screams, but prayers. Some loud, some trembling, some only a whisper. It was as if the city itself had two currents now, one pulling toward destruction, one toward redemption. The shadowed figures in the undercity screamed again, but now it was different, shrill, desperate. They weren't screaming at me. They were screaming at him. And then, I saw him. The puppet master. No more whispers, no more hiding in the pulse. Satan stood in the center of the undercity, and for the first time, the city's enemy had a face. The light stepped forward, brighter than I'd ever seen it, but even it seemed small compared to the presence that had just filled every corner of Chicago. This is your city, Satan sneered. And I will take it with me when it falls. The shaking grew so violent I could hardly keep my feet. My knuckles tightened around the stake. For the first time, I realized it wasn't just a weapon. It was a key. And the night was far from over.